All right, welcome to the shop. We're going to talk about how to make stuff, and we're looking at the ideal of order of operations. That is, how are we going to design our part manufacturing process in such a way that allows us to make it relatively easy with simple tools. This can be used with the FRC 102 test part that students will have to make in order to qualify to use heavier power tools, bench mounted tools, floor mounted tools, and so forth, saws, drill presses, and the like. So we're going to go through how we make something using our common tools in such a way that we can take advantage of those tools in the proper order of operations so that we can actually make something successfully. So here's our raw material we use. It's a piece of 1x2 tubing. We're going to make a pair of saddles so we can set our axle inside of it. The saddle's been 3 inches long. We're going to have a drill a hole through this and cut this piece of material in half so we can make two identical pieces. So here we go. We're going to mark our 3 inches on our piece of material. Take our speed square, mark. Then we're going to go back and we're going to march 1.5 inches off, which is half our length. Then we're going to go here 1 inch across. We'll verify our measurements. 3 inches, 1 inch, 1.5 inches. We'll take our center punch, our prick punch. I'll locate. Locate again. All right, we're in good condition, and we're going to punch it. Let's go to drill press. So here we're on a drill press. We've got it set up. We've got our vise, our piece of tubing sitting in it. We're going to drill a pilot hole through. This way we've located our hole with our prick punch. And we're going to drill through. That way use this new hole on top all the way through as a pilot for the hole in the back side of this piece of tubing. Then we'll go into the next process. So let's drill this out. Here we go. Safety glasses in place. We're all good to go. And we'll locate. Got to locate it. Power up. First hole through. Second hole's through. Now, next step is to drill, use our hole saw to drill the 1 inch hole in this. So we changed our setup. We got our 1 inch hole saw in place. We're going to drill a hole with that, and we're going to flip our piece of tubing over and drill on the back side. Here we go. Lining up. Start. And we're through. There's hole number 1. We'll get rid of some debris. We'll flip over, line it properly, drill hole number 2. Line up our pilot hole with our drill bit. Start. Through. There we go. And we got our hole drilled. Now, next step. Here's another interesting thing about taking advantage of your tools. You've got your speed square. One of the things you do is you can actually use these notches in the speed square for marking all parts. So in this example here, we've taken our speed square and we used it here, and you notice that notch number 1 aligns well with our 1-inch space. So we've actually used that by sliding it down with a pencil in there to establish our 1-inch line we want to cut down to split this in 2 parts. So our next step is to cut our piece. We're going to actually cut this piece into 2 separates, then we'll cut it off the overall length of the tube in a minute. You can do this on bandsaw, or I have my electric metal cutting saw here. We're going to cut this piece now, so let's watch this happen. Remember, safety guards, got safety glasses, got a safe shield on this time. We'll take our saw, taking our saw, and here we go. Line it up. Turn it over and take our overcut. Okay, it's all in place. Here we go. All right, we cut our piece. Very good. Okay, we got our part set up on our big cutoff saw here. This is a cold cutting saw. The mill is, it's not cold, but it stays relatively cool when it cuts, even though it is using a blade. So here we go. So while we're going on this trouble, we're making a couple of axle saddles, as you see. We made them up. We've actually taken them. We've deburred them a bit. We've taken these and we've cleaned the edges up a little bit. And come back here. What we'll do is drill a couple of holes here. We're going to drill some holes and put some spacers in this piece of tubing. And it basically be this setup. You know, once we are ready to put this underneath your pit cart. So that's what we built. We built those 2 saddles today. So that's a little simple manufacturing used in order operations. We went through a specific series of steps. We marked our tubing up as we showed earlier. Then we drill a pilot hole. We drill our hole with our hole saw. Then we slit it to form 2 different saddles, and we cut it off on our cutoff saw. This would be much harder to do if you try to do it other ways. There are other ways, of course, of doing it. But example, if you had like 2 channels of metal or 2 U-channels and you try to cut a notch in them, a lot more involved doing that, especially getting in the right place. It can be done in something like a mill or something like that, but you can take advantage of order of operations, how you make things, how you're going to lay your steps out in order to make something successfully, and you can use relatively simple tools in doing that. So hope you learned something. You can apply this to your FRC 102 parts you've got to make in order to get your 102 in your overall tool use certification. Good luck with that. More to come next time.